Technology and Communication Research Center. The ITCRC provides support and collaboration with companies and organizations to meet the requirements of the diverse areas within the IT industry. Lambton College utilizes the expertise of industry experts and professors along with the students to overcome the technological obstacles presented by industry partners, whether it is creating a prototype of a new device, the development of new software, or the redesign of user experience for your company's application. Today's presenter is Andrew Chung. His expertise and curiosity in post-quantum cybersecurity led him to becoming the founder, president, and CEO of Ironcap. Andrew will be presenting on mitigating ransomware today and in the quantum era. Thank you, Andrew, and I'll hand over to you now.
Thanks, Chad. Let me just make sure the screen is here. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Chung, President and CEO of ZeroOne Communicate. We are a Canadian publicly traded company who has been kind of spending the last few years working on cybersecurity technologies. And today, I am very happy having this opportunity to talk about cybersecurity problem. And specifically, what I'm going to talk about today would be the cybersecurity threat imposed by quantum computers, as well as the relationship between email phishing and ransomware attack. I'll talk about the current antidote to the problem, what's out there, and what you can do about it, and why they are not working. And then finally, I will present our Ironcap X solution, the next level protection of phishing, which is the main source of ransomware attack. The presentation will last about 10 minutes, and then I will open the floor to any kind of questions you may want to ask. So let's go straight to the point. Everyone, I bet, knows about phishing and ransomware attacks are a very serious issue, but exactly how serious it is, let's put into context. First of all, Proofpoint reported that 57%, I mean 57% of the organization have experienced a successful phishing attack in 2020. That's just 1 year, more than half in just 1 year. Cybercrime magazine reported that every 11 seconds there is one victim fall into the ransomware attack this year. And IBM also have reported that ransomware attacks cost an average of over $4.6 million, which is more expensive than any average cost of data breach. And it ranked the top crime, contributing to 44% of all business losses. The bottom line is phishing is the main source of ransomware attack. So no wonder why the US Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says cyber attacks are now the foremost risk of the global financial system, and even more so than the liquidity and risk that led to the 2008 financial crisis. Now, this is not me, Andrew Chung, who make it up, but rather word by word from Mr. Powell. It's a very serious issue. Now, let's face the reality. If you haven't been phished or hacked yet, you will be. The problem is you may not even recognize or you may not even know about it, because once inside your system, the hacker may decide to act immediately or wait for years before they lock your data and demand a ransom. On top of that, they may also just sell your data on the dark web. And certainly this is very popular within nation state sponsored attack too. So bottom line is phishing is here to stay and we need to deal with it. Now, it can only get worse. Now that the biggest problem is it can only get worse and much worse with the arrival of quantum computers, because the excessive computing power of quantum computer is going to render current encryption totally useless, such as RSA and elliptic curve. And now you may not know about, but IBM has just released their roadmap for a quantum computer with 1,000 qubit by the end of 2023, which is very close to today. And the 1,000 qubit has enough horsepower to break traditional encryption that I mentioned, such as RSA and elliptic curve, So practically, with the time it takes to implement new encryption, there's really no time to wait. It is kind of like hearing the siren of the tsunami, but what you see, is a blue sky and say, hey, let's have a swim. That would lose your life. And the fact is, when you can see the tsunami, it's too late to run. It's the same thing that when you see the quantum computer 1,000 qubit becomes available, it's too late to implement the shelter already. The good news is there are antidotes to the problem. I'm sure you're aware of the vast variety of consultants out there who can tell companies on how to mitigate the chance of ransomware attacks, such as zero trust practice, employee protocol, antivirus software, AI threat detection software, etc., etc. The list just goes on. But based on the statistic of ransomware, it's very obvious that these solution or protocol are either they're not being implemented properly, or they don't work at all, or in many cases, both. So, but don't get me wrong. I believe, strongly believe the value of these kind of protocol and products, but they are just not the most effective way to stop phishing / ransomware attack. The true antidote should be a preventive measure rather than an aftermath medicine. And bottom line is, phishing is an email problem. So the preventive measure should be an email solution rather than a preventive solution. However, there are actually a lot of the email encryption software out there, but the problem is they are either not being truly end-to-end, or they are falsely advertised as being end-to-end. And when I say not end-to-end, meaning that it is actually a man-in-the-middle type of encryption software. Now, this diagram here is clearly indicated that it's very look quite complicated. But when I can simplify to describe to you that your email is sending from your the computer on the left-hand side all the way through the internet, like the cloud, to the computer on the right-hand side. So the man-in-the-middle type of email encryption digital signature system is that the email is encrypted inside the server of the provider in the cloud, and then the recipient go to their computer to retrieve the message. Now, this means the email is having full capacity being decrypted by the service provider. And this totally breaks the zero trust protocol right at the gate. And not to mention that the worst is the server is now becoming a very juicy target for cyber criminal. And in addition, they are also not quantum safe, meaning quantum computers can decrypt and steal your data and at a heartbeat. Now, on the flip side, end-to-end encryption, is the solution. That is the end-to-end model, meaning your message is encrypted on the left-hand side and then sent all the way in the encrypted form until it reaches the recipient on the right-hand side. There is no single moment when the email is staying in an unencrypted form, any way, shape, or form along the way.
Yeah. Hi, Andrew.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt. Would you mind showing us the diagram? We don't show. We don't see it on our end. Sorry.
What do you see? Because I'm sharing the screen.
Probably we share it. We don't see it on our end.
Oh, this is.
Yeah.
So what are you seeing? So you're not seeing the sharing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I think the diagram speaks a lot anyway.
At the beginning, it was. Can you tell me if what you're seeing?
Yeah, we're seeing it now. All good.
Oh. Do you see the screen?
Yes, this is good. This is a good diagram, Andrew. Please go ahead.
Okay, do you see this man in the middle?
Yes.
Okay, so when I was talking about the man in the middle, you don't see this screen 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so let me just rewind a little bit of the tape. This is the man in the middle approach, which is not the way, because as I said, the email on the left-hand side is being encrypted by the service provider in the middle, okay? And then sending the link to the recipient on the right-hand side, the recipient click the link and retrieve the message, which is stored in the third party's machine. So in this kind of man-in-the-middle approach, which is what the world is selling, not only that they are not quantum safe, but also that the message is being stored inside the provider's machine. The provider has the full capacity to read and decrypt your confidential messages. And even worse, the server are now a juicy target for cyber criminals. And so that's not the right approach. When there is a third party who can read your messages, that is totally breaking the law of zero trust right at the gate. Now, on the flip side, the Ironcap X solution that we have is a true end-to-end encryption with no third-party trust. It is also quantum safe. Now, what it means is, like in this diagram, that your confidential message is encrypted at your computer on your left-hand side, and then sent all the way encrypted to the other side. So the message will not be existent in any kind of decrypted form along the way. And this means only your recipient can decrypt your email. And practically, I always kind of jokingly said that if this was available in 2016, probably Clinton would be the president, because neither the FBI or the CIA could read her messages if it is encrypted end-to-end this way. Now, on the digital signature side, it works more or less the same way, that only you can digitally sign your email on your left-hand side, and then the signature stay with your email all the way until it reaches the recipient side, and the recipient can verify that this email is authentic from you, not a phish. So when you receive an email from your friend with a proper digital signature, even if he said he's stuck in somewhere and needs $1,000, you probably should send him the money if that's the case, because it's a legit the email from your friend rather than a phish. And so we are indeed launching a business version of Ironcap X very soon, in about 1 month's time. A free, totally free personal version is already available on our website for people to download, and it's unlimited usage. It's only that is a personal version limited to just one single user, and the business version is one that is having a central management tool, allowing the admin of the company to manage all the keys and all the users. And this product, as I mentioned again, it is secure against both classical computer today as well as the new quantum computing era. It is highly effective and easy to use, and bolt on to your existing software such as Microsoft Outlook. And while it is extremely cost effective at just $100 per year per user, we also have a free, as I mentioned, free personal version for you to try out before people dive into the business version, or personally, if it is just one user, you can just use it for yourself. So now let me summarize before we open for any kind of question. So phishing is huge and it's very destructive. And this is only the tips of an iceberg, when you compare to the post-quantum era, when the quantum computer is publicly available to the bad guys. And if you haven't been phished, you will be. And currently, cybersecurity solutions are a very useful tool, but not a true antidote to the phishing problem. Ironcap X will take you to the next level of email security with its quantum safe, truly end-to-end nature. And as indicated, you can easily sign up for a free version, and you just need to reach ironcap.ca, ironcap.ca, to get a sense of the technology before you dive into the business version. Ironcap X is practically the world's first commercially available quantum safe end user technology that the general public can touch and feel. And it is essentially a showcase of our Ironcap quantum safe cryptographic engine, which can be applied to a wide variety of product that needs to be upgraded, becoming quantum safe, such as credit card chips, the money transfer, cloud storage, remote access, etc., etc. And email security is only one of the many use cases of the above that I mentioned. So at this point, I'd like to take a quick pause so that you can ask any kind of question, and I'll be very happy to answer that. So if there's no question, I would actually wrap it up by kind of like running a quick video recap of what I have just talked about. This is the Ironcap X video. Ready to run.
Hi, Andrew.
Yeah.
There is one question.
Right.
So let me just read that for you. So it said, is cryptocurrency as Bitcoin and so many others that are being created ready to be traded in a secure way?
Yep. So the question is about cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. You know, all these kind of coins. They are created using the blockchain technology. Now, blockchain technology itself is quantum safe, okay, but the endpoints are not. The endpoints being the miner machine or the wallet. They are just regular computer that is using RSA or elliptic curve as the encryption layer, which is quantum vulnerable. So in other words, you know, that means the cryptocurrency is certainly quantum vulnerable. So what happened is if someone can forge the digital signature of the wallet, and they can just spend your coin, you know, on behalf of you, and that is a huge problem. They are all 100% of them are quantum vulnerable.
Thank you.
Looks like we have another question here. Companies normally have courses and orientation to prevent phishing, but the reality is that people sometimes make mistakes and don't follow the orientation. How can companies prevent human mistakes related to phishing?
Well, in fact, this is a very good question because as I mentioned in the presentation, there are all kinds of quote solutions to the phishing / ransomware attacks. And these are among like zero trust protocol, employee training, and antivirus software or AI threat detection software, etc., etc. And at least half of them are related to employee training and awareness of these things. These are important things to do. However, if we look into the statistic of ransomware, it is perfectly obvious that these things are not the true solution, because if they are, there won't be so many crime, the cyber security or ransomware crime, and every 11 seconds someone will fall as a victim. And the problem is because they can get in, no matter how secure it is, they could, it's a human error, you cannot prevent human error. Like people still putting the key under the mat, at the house, these are just human error. And so the real solution would be to prevent it. As I mentioned before, like when you can prevent it, meaning you have to find the main source of a ransomware attack. The main source is phishing. And then the phishing, why phishing is so easy and cheap, to implement is because it's human nature that when there's an email coming in, sound like it is a legit email, and it is about a topic that you pay attention to, and chances are you will click on that email. And some, people just do that kind of thing, no matter how well trained that person is. So the whole thing is about the identification of the sender. And if you receive an email from a sender that apparently is your friend, such as let's say John Doe Smith, from someone, and is talking about a topic that you guys are interested in, and chances are you would click that link, but then that email is not really sent from John Smith. It's from someone impersonating John Smith. How do you detect that? There is no such detection system in the email protocol today. And so this is what we have introduced, the Ironcap X, is to authenticate that email. Now, you may recognize that the world of website has already done that, 15, 20 years ago by converting from HTTP to HTTPS, so that the website is being authenticated. You know that this site is really the site of your bank, right? Because it has the HTTPS protocol. And there's no such conversion yet on email, and we are promoting that kind of conversion, so that when you receive an email from John Smith with the digital signature, it is from John Smith. Even though John Smith, your friend, is asking you, as I mentioned using that example, he is asking you for $1,000 because he's stuck in the middle of nowhere and need the money, it is really your friend having that request for you. And so that is what we have been promoting, and we believe the world has the pressing need to go through the same upgrading, like the website app upgrading from HTTP to HTTPS, and email has to go through the same thing, so that the email everyone's sending to you must be authenticated, must be having a digital signature proving that email is really coming from the sender and not an impersonated one from a hacker. So yeah, that is kind of like a long-winded answer to your question, that employee training protocol is only half the game, and the more effective half would be the preventive solution that would really guarantee it, rather than just relying on the behavior of the employee, which is not reliable because it's just a human being.
Great, thank you, Andrew. We have another question here. Investment in cybersecurity is high for the most small and medium companies, or at least they prefer to save the value that could be spent on cybersecurity. Do you have some advice for those companies about how to be cyber secured without spending lots of financial resources?
This is exactly where we come from. When we are introducing the Ironcap X solution to the world, we design it for the mass market, and it's not just for the large company. And the way that we charge is just $100 per user per year to protect your email address so that you can send encrypted email, quantum safe encrypted email, and digitally sign your email when you send to your friends. So cybersecurity solutions are not meant to be expensive. And when we are selling our engine to other people to implement upgrading their product to become quantum safe, it is also very cost effective. We are only selling our engine for $150 per year of usage per machine to our integrator, software vendor customers. So a short answer to your question would be that it is not necessarily be expensive. It can be very, very affordable.
Yeah, thanks. Regarding quantum computers, Andrew, do you have any comment on what hurdles researchers might face with developing quantum computers?
Well, this is a billion-dollar question. Actually, I don't want to present myself as an expert in quantum computing. Like, we are actually the expert in providing technology on the other side to protect the dark side of quantum computer, which is the excessive computing power can render current encryption totally useless. But we can, kind of like shed a light, some kind of light about them, because we know a little bit, but although we are not a quantum computing vendor, quantum computers are basically, you can view them as a extremely fast computer, and extremely fast being having millions of current classical computers working in parallel, together to solve the same problem. And so to do that, you have to have all these quantum nature, such as entanglement and superpositioning, working in conjunction, having like 0 and 1 existing at the same time, so that it is like having millions of classical computers working together. To work for that kind of quantum nature to work, it has to be kind of as close as possible to the outer space, which is minus 273 degree Fahrenheit for that kind of nature to work. And that is the hurdle of creating large-scale quantum computers. But that has been overcome already recently by the quantum computing vendor. So quantum computer has been, that concept is not new, in fact. When I was 5 years old, I already heard that Mr. Spock talks about that at Star Trek. So the concept is not new. And it's only that only until recently, when material science has advanced to a stage where it can allow that concept to function. So that hurdle has already been achieved. And so that's why IBM has already publicly announcing that they have 1,000 qubit computer coming out in 2023 already, and that all their competitors such as Google, D-Wave, Honeywell are competing to beat IBM too. So But most importantly is that we have to remember all these information that we heard are only from the open world, meaning the commercial world of quantum computing vendor. And there is also a closed world, which is the national level. And usually they are 5 to 10 years ahead of the commercial level. So we should be aware that they are very, very likely, if not already, very likely already having quantum computers with the ability to crack current encryption already. You might remember the Colonial Pipeline cracking of just a few months ago. And the hackers collected 90 million worth of Bitcoin as the ransom money. And then within 2 weeks, the FBI announced that they managed to crack the wallet of the hackers, retrieving about half the ransom money. And obviously, they will never tell you what the kind of technology they use. But within 2 weeks, cracking the Bitcoin wallet, we got to believe they have access to some sort of quantum computing technology. And anyway, all I wanted to say is that on the national level, whether it's the US, the Russian, the Chinese government, they have something 5 to 10 years ahead of the commercial world. And so we really have no time to wait. And because the siren of the tsunami is already there, and we got to be prepared before it's too late.
Thank you, Andrew. Do we happen to have any other questions for Andrew at this time? If you have any questions, you can post it in the chat. Looks like we don't have any questions at this time right now, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm very happy having this opportunity to present about cybersecurity problems we are facing today. And yeah, if you have any question, please feel free to, you can reach out to our team. And our website is ironcap.ca, ironcap.ca. And the white papers and everything are readily available for you to take up any kind of resources. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, Andrew, Chung, and also Ironcap for this presentation today. And thank you, everybody, for taking the time to spend today with us on our industry breakfast, looking at the topic of mitigating ransomware today and in the quantum era. This presentation has been recorded and will be available for everybody later on through our social media. And I believe Ironcap will be sharing it as well on their social media channels too.
Absolutely.